Hi, everybody, and welcome to Unapologetic. I'm your host, Amala Epinobi. Taylor's in the producer's bay.
Hello.
And today, we're going to be having an interesting conversation, and I think it's a conversation that's circulating in many households right now, as we are all talking about masculinity. Not just masculinity, but a certain form of masculinity that is preached by these, quote, alpha males on the internet. Two names you might be familiar with are Andrew Tate and Sneeko, who have risen to fame through an abundance of controversy. So we're going to be talking about them today. And I figured there's no better person to talk about masculinity and get an opinion on this from than Dennis Prager. Dennis.
What a compliment. I take it then that you think I'm masculine.
I do indeed.
Okay, fine. All right, just checking.
So we're going to get into the video, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Dennis,
Yep.
Are you ready?
I am.
Okay, so I have to warn you, there's a bit of very firm language. There's some curse words in
can
this
handle
video. Andrew
Okay.
Tate is going to be addressing some, quote, Western women in this video in their take on a career versus children.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sorry, my headphones fell off. If you're not going to have children, what are you going to do with your lives?
If I'm not gonna have children, travel, just pursue anything that makes me happy. Try to make money. I love traveling, so I would probably just
Drink cocktails on the beach. Okay, next.
About the same thing, like travel, focus on my career, things like that. Like my career will become my baby.
What about you?
I honestly just want to get right into my career.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
What do you want to do in life?
Right now, so I go to the University of Miami. I'm majoring in interactive media. What I want to do with that is build virtual reality simulators for the military. Then I'm also minoring in motion pictures. I'm interested in acting and shit like that.
Miss Cuba, what about you?
Do whatever the fuck I want.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Well, I plan on becoming a doctor. So I'm just my career.
Your career.
I'm
Okay.
passionate about it, so
A life without children is vapious, and it's inane, and it's pointless. And you may sit here and think that your career matters, but the truth is that your job will fire you at a whim and not give a second, don't give a solitary shit.
So true.
And when you're 52 and you're past it with no grandchildren in a house by yourself, and all your friends have grandchildren in this beautiful life, and you're sitting there by yourself, do you think the fact that you can afford a few extra Gucci bags is going to genuinely make you feel happy? I was at my grandmother's 93rd birthday. I looked there. My grandmother had 9 children because there was my father and 8 more. They all had a bunch of kids, blah, blah, blah. I stood there and I looked at my 93-year-old grandmother, and there was a whole room full with maybe 70 people that came from that one woman. Isn't that remarkable?
Yeah.
That nobody cared about her career. Nobody asked what job she did. Nobody asked how many times she went to the club. Nobody asked if she had time to go to festivals. No, you had 70 sentient beings, including myself, full of life from one woman who dedicated herself to being a mother and a good wife. That is beautiful. And if you sit here and genuinely think that you're going to work your ass off through your fertile years, and by the age of 54, you're not going to be suicidal alone with a cat, then you're dumb. The happiest women on earth have children and a man who's paying the bills and their mothers.
That's
The
me.
happiest people on earth. I guarantee it. Your
is
mothers,
true.
ask your own mother, do you
Nah.
regret having me? She's going to say, of course
Obviously
not. You're the
not.
best thing that ever happened to me. So now you're going to sit here and you're going to end your own
Come on,
bloodline? All your ancestors were out there surrounded by saber-toothed fucking tigers trying to survive on the streets out there in caveman days just to get to the final end where we have all the medical care and you can live in a nice warm house for your fucking selfish ass to say, no, I don't want kids. I'm too busy in the fucking strip club or going to fucking Mallorca to have a pina colada on the beach. It's absolutely insulting to your entire bloodline. Everything everyone above you has ever done and struggled for. All the times your grandparents went to work when they didn't feel like it, just for you to exist, for your selfish ass to say, no, me and my passions and my dreams and my shit drawings and my Instagram page is worth more than ever having children. You're a selfish fuck. Fuck that. You should all have kids.
Okay. As you can tell, he's very passionate about the subject matter.
So this is not what I expected. I saw him just a day ago on Tucker Carlson, and I was I was saddened that when he talked about men and masculinity, he spoke about everything but becoming a husband, but getting married. So obviously, that might have just been a unique conversation, because if this typifies him, while that's not my mode of presentation,
No.
that is the content of my life's thinking. I have had, in fact, your viewers can actually see this on the internet. A few years ago, I did something. I have over 1,000 columns on the internet, 20 years of 50 columns a year. So that's a lot.
Yes.
I devoted one in all of those 1,000. All I did is transcribe a phone call from a caller. A woman exactly like that, 50 years old, called my show, because one of my hours each week of my radio show is devoted to men and women. It's called the Male-Female Hour. And this was the topic that day. And she called in to say she has a PhD. She makes well into six figures income. She has a great job. And she goes home at night. Did I say she was about 50? Did I say that? Yeah.
Yep, about 50.
And she goes home exactly what he described, to an empty house. And she regrets terribly that she bought the career Kool-Aid. There's nothing wrong in a woman having a career. There's something wrong if she thinks that will bring her satisfaction,
Right.
like a good husband and a family. By the way, so of course I say good husband. A bad husband is not going to bring you joy.
Right. It's not at all.
Right, and it's a gamble. But so as a bad career is a gamble. Who promised you a good career? How do you know you'll be working with people that you enjoy or who are decent and honest?
Right.
There are no guarantees in life. So you're not guaranteed a good career if you pursue career. You're not guaranteed a good husband if you get married. However, all things being equal, it's better. There's
Right.
no question. And I'm a man, and I'm saying that for me.
Yeah. So how do you think, a lot of people are going to talk about this being the case for modern day women, and a lot of young women I hear echoing the same sentiments. I don't want kids. I want the career. I want to be able to travel. I'll be the aunt who spoils her nieces and nephews. How do you think we got to the point that is a
I know
commonplace
how
belief?
you got to that point. There was an interesting article in the Wall Street Journal recently, which echoed something I've said all my life. Feminism has deceived now 3 generations of women. It started with my generation, specifically college in the early 70s, in my case, graduate school. And I remember one of the gigantic lies, and I'm going to be very open with you. You might be shocked here.
I'm ready.
Well, yes, get ready. I'm warning you. I might go down in your esteem with this story, but I don't care. I prefer honesty to anything else.
Of course.
So they were told, among the 2 biggest lies feminism told women were career beats a man. The old line, a woman without a man is like a fish without a bicycle. You've heard that line, right? Okay. The other big lie was your sexual nature is like a man's. You can have sex with no commitment, no emotional attachment, and enjoy it just like men can.
You're right.
So now why did I preface this by saying that I will go down in your estimation? So this was my 20s, and I remember thinking, holy crow, did I luck out. Men have wanted women to think this way for 4,000 years.
Right.
And it just happened as I get to be 20 years old. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Because I was always a decent guy, and I would not mislead a woman into thinking that there was an emotional possibility if there weren't. And now they're saying it doesn't matter.
Right.
So who am I to intervene with this great feminist message?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I saw a video this morning of a comedian talking about modern day women, and he said, you know what, men, we got to make it out there to those women's marches. And the guys are like, why? And he says, because the women aren't wearing any clothes. They're talking about sleeping with a bunch of men and not caring about it. They'll get rid of your baby if you don't want it. He's like, this is a dream for a lot of men.
That's exactly, no, for all men. Now, remember, that's a dream for male nature.
Right.
It's not a dream for a long period. That's why I got married, because I said, I'm not going to live this life forever. This is empty. I was a committed religious person, in my case, to Judaism, as a Jew. I knew this was not the life that I should be leading, but of course, I also wanted to find the right person.
Right.
So this was you asked me, how did this start? The answer is with well-educated women. The well-educated have done all the damage of the 20th century.
Yep.
The well-educated followed communism, the greatest mass murder movement in human history. The well-educated were deceived and deceptive. And they told women this nonsense, career über alles, above everything, and that they don't need a man, and that they could have sex just like men can.
Mm-hmm. And now here we are.
Now here we are with the largest depression rate among young women in recorded American history.
Yep. So in this case, after watching this video of Andrew Tate, who's a highly controversial man at the moment, you may not agree with the delivery, but you agree with the message.
Yes.
There we go, guys. So you heard it here first from Dennis Prager. He watched this video.
What is there to differ with? I mean,
this is true.
You're going to go home from work to your cat.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, what was it? Somebody said to me recently that it's very dangerous for a single woman to have pets. It was a very interesting observation.
Because she treats them as children?
Yes. Isn't that an interesting observation?
You know, it is an interesting one, and I know several women who.
Oh, of course. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Often I will say to you, I have children. They say, I have 2 dogs.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, and I have 2 dogs too, but they're not my children.
Exactly. There's a very clear distinction, I think, to be made.
Right. Yes.
So what fans of Andrew Tate, they would call this a commentate W, which means he won in this argument. He said something that is, it's correct by all means, and you're standing by this statement here.
I don't know what there is to differ with.
Yeah.
I would have been more gentle in my presentation, but maybe those women needed a harder presentation.
And that's the argument that a lot of people are making in regards to him. Like, yes, he's harsh, yes, he's abrasive, but sometimes that's the message that you
That
need.
may well be. I'm okay with it.
Well,
by the way, I will tell you, I had a cynical thought while the women were talking. Mm-hmm. I have to share this with you. Mm-hmm. I was thinking that with women like this, maybe they shouldn't have children. Maybe the world is better if such... and I'm not saying they're bad human beings. I'm not in any way implying that. But they're so out of touch with life and with even their own nature. Maybe they shouldn't reproduce. I mean, I agree with him ultimately.
Yes.
But I want you to know that was a voice in me.
Yeah, I felt the same way after hearing him say, no, go, have children. And I thought, well, if you're talking to women who think that a career is more important than a child, maybe they shouldn't.
Yeah.
They're not at the point to have children.
Or it's like, there's another example of this happening now. The world is going to come to an end because of climate change. I don't want to bring a child into the world. Mm-hmm. The New York Times had a piece by a woman who wrote that. And I did a column and a show on the comments, all of whom are New York Times subscribers. You can't comment if you don't subscribe. Mm-hmm. So I just want people to understand. And comment after comment went like this. My own daughter has decided not to have children because of climate change. And as much as I want grandchildren, I agree with her. Comment after comment after comment.
It's insane. I mean, we've even seen the likes of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry go, we're only going to have 2 children because of the environment, and we're committing ourselves.
If they had 0, I would not complain. I have to admit.
And that might be the case for some of these women in this video. But guys, this is not it for Dennis. You're going to see him on the channel reacting to other masculinity hot takes, just not in this video. But if you enjoyed his reaction, and or maybe it was unexpected to have Dennis here talking about Andrew Tate, because they kind of run in separate worlds if you really think about it. But if you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, click the notification bell to be notified every single time we post a new video and every single time we go live. And we're going to have more content like this for you. And drop a comment down below. How'd you feel about this Andrew Tate take? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Are these girls right on track with their careers, or are they a little loony thinking they don't want kids? Let me know.